starting in about 5 minutes.
Welcome to special live coverage of the Beaver Dam Memorial Day ceremony on AM 1430 WBEV and DailyDodge.com. Presented by K&B Trees, Lawn and Landscaping. Live from Oakwood Cemetery, let's go to the podium for the beginning of today's festivities.
Good morning. My name is Ty Leto from the VFW, and today I am your Master of Ceremonies for the Memorial Day service. Thank you all for coming this morning and for listening to us today on WBEV. I want to welcome all veterans, their families, their guests, and the community. Welcome band directors Russell Diggins and Kyle Hendrickson and the Beaver Dam High School Band, and Kim Lopez with the St. Catherine Drexel Marching Band. I also want to welcome Major Pete Warwick, who is our guest speaker for today. This Memorial Day is extra special because we have lost so many veterans this past year and the year before, and their families were not able to give them full honors for their service. I would ask everyone to please silence your phones. If you need to take a call, I ask that you please step back into the parking area. And lastly, I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any of the names. VFW member Paul Louth will place the MIA POW scarf on the empty chair, and VFW chaplain Martin Louth will lead us in prayer. All veterans, uncover. A POW MIA empty chair is placed at all official meetings that veterans attend as a physical symbol of the thousands of American POW MIAs still unaccounted for from all wars and conflicts, including involving the United States of America. This is a reminder for all of us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoners from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died bravely in the defense of liberty, and a full accounting of all those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves for this endeavor.
Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, in your hands are the living and the dead. We give you thanks for all of those, our comrades, who have laid down their lives in service of their country. May they rest in peace, and may the light of perpetuity shine upon them. May the good work of seeking justice for the oppressed and peace for all mankind be rewarded with success, that their sacrifices shall not be in vain. May we never fail to remember the awesome cost of freedom which we enjoy. Grant that we shall appreciate and treasure freedom that is our gift and our heritage, that we may never forget the great price at which was purchased for all of us. We remember this day before you all who served in the armed forces of our nation. Protect and defend them in days of battle and in times of peace. Grant that they may serve with honor and dignity, both to your great glory and to the credit of this nation. We also ask that you will watch over the veterans of this land, inspiring them to serve you and this country in ever new and creative ways. Comfort our ill and wounded comrades who languish in hospitals or homes. Lighten their burdens, relieve their suffering and pain, restore to them the blessings of health again. Amen.
Veterans cover. Thank you, Paul Louth and Chaplain Martin Louth for that prayer. St. Catherine Drexel Marching Band under Director Lopez, drum majors Brianna Gansky and Brianna Meyer will play This Land Is Our Land. Thank you to Director Lopez, Drum Majors Gansky and Meyer, and St. Catherine Drexel Band for that uplifting song. Del Yarick from AMVETS will now read a short poem.
Thanks. Just Souls by Nancy L. Meek. Lift up your voice. Follow me. Thank the ones who kept us free. Whether home field or Isle of Nam, offer prayers and an open palm. Salute the brave, the tired, the true, who love liberty through and through, who clutched the torch and held it high, who ran with it to the battle cry, for souls like me and you. We loved our country more than self, left comfort home upon a shelf, risked it all for freedom's hue, doing, of course, what they had to do, for souls like me and you. We have a choice. Follow them in faith, paved the way for future men. Light of hope around them pearled, or live oppressed in a bitter world. Evil is still alive on planet Earth, caring not for freedom's worth. Peace and love beyond their grasp, doomed to hell's eternal lock and hast. The soldiers die, the poppies blow towards heaven's fields, row by row plucked from earth, and by we, each, will reach beyond the sky to touch a petal where poppies grow. Just souls like you and I. Thank you.
Thank you, Del Yarick of the AMVETS. We will now hear the Star Spangled Banner under Director Kyle Hendrickson and the Beaver Dam High School Marching Band, and several singers from the band will accompany them. Elisa Braun, Rihanna Gahan, Kelsey Saniter, Brendan Simon, and you all can join in the singing. All stand. All guests, place your hand over your heart. Veterans, present arms. Order, arms. Guests, please be seated. Thank you, Director Hendrickson, singers, and the Beaver Dam High School Band. Now I would like to invite Major Gluen's representative, Beaver Dam Council President Chris Olson, to say a few words.
Thank you. We are here today to show gratitude and reverence to those who died in service to their country. The brave men and women who saw a cause greater than themselves and made it possible for me to be standing here today. When I was asked to speak at the celebration, I knew right away who and what I wanted to talk about. Carl Mancheski grew up on a farm outside Randolph. He served his country during the Korean War, then returned home to live in Beaver Dam. I met Carl when I was back in '99. I was a teenager at the age of 14, and he was a 70-year-old man. He was a neighbor over the fence. And even though it often annoyed my dad, Carl always had some words of advice on whatever project my dad was working on. Being a mechanic his entire life, Carl was pretty handy with just about everything. My dad would be working on his truck or even trying to get the chainsaw started so he could trim some trees, and Carl would eventually find his way over the fence and lend a hand or a word of advice on the best way to get the job done. Carl just wanted to help out. It's who he was. He was there for his country when he was asked to serve, and he never stopped being there for his country when he came back. Carl went from serving his country to serving his community by being an active member at his church, a neighbor who would help you at the drop of a hat, and a volunteer at St. Vincent de Paul until he passed away, still serving his community at the age of 91 last year. I miss his stories and his smile. And I know the community still misses him because it's individuals like Carl who make our community great. People who take the time to go above and beyond their job, their service, or their retirement, and still find ways to give back and pass the wisdom they've learned on to the next generation. Carl was a one-of-a-kind for me, but I know he's not alone in spirit and values. So this Memorial Day, I want to give thanks to all those who lost their lives wearing the uniform, and to those who came back and never stopped serving their community. Those who saw their duty was never over and kept giving to make it possible for us all to be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris Olson. Today, Marine Corps League member Dave Noe will read us a poem.
Freedom, author unknown. To all soldiers, past and present, God bless. Glory to American flag. Long may she wave. So many have been covered with her when they are gone to their grave. So many of us have taken for granted that our freedom will always be. We tend to forget those who have kept that right for you and me. A soldier will stand and fight all night to keep us from harm, while some of us sit at home and refuse to lift an arm. Some sit around and complain all day how wrong this war must be, while a soldier pushes that aside to continue to fight for you and me. Some sit around and complain about the food they're about to eat, while a soldier works straight through hungry and weary on his feet. While you sit around and complain about what you have or where you live, remember what a soldier somewhere for you is about to give. A soldier stands tall and proud and ready for the fight. We must stand strong behind them through their hard and arduous plight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Now we will have a musical selection, God Bless the USA, by the Beaver Dam High School Band under the direction of Drum Major Olivia Loeffler. Thank you, Beaver Dam High School Band and Drum Major Loeffler. Before the memorial service begins, I have a few announcements to make. During the raising and the lowering of the flags by Ross O'Brien and Don Zilch and the Pledge of Allegiance, veterans in uniform are to remain covered and to salute when the pledge begins. Veterans not in uniform may salute or place their right hand over their heart. Civilians are to remove their hats and place their right hand over their heart. At my command, come to attention, and the American flag and Wisconsin flag will be placed at half-staff to be followed with America by Director Russell Diggins and the Beaver Dam High School Band, and then the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance led by the representatives of several veterans organizations. They are Gert Herman, Marine Corps League Auxiliary, Lois Levenhagen, American Legion Auxiliary, and Ben Ovali, AMVETS. All stand. Captain of the Honor Guard Squad and veterans, attention, present arms.
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms, at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Jeff Krakow, Marine Corps League, and Dave Noe, Marine Corps League, are our next two speakers today, who will each read a poem. These poems are for all our military personnel, wherever they may be. So please support all of our troops that are defending our country. Thanks to them and their sacrifices, we can celebrate our freedom every day.
Why Wear a Poppy by Dan Crawford. Please wear a poppy, the lady said, and held one forth, but I shook my head. Then I stopped and watched as she offered them there, and her face was old and lined with care. But beneath the scars the years had made, there remained a smile that refused to fade. A boy came whistling down the street, bouncing along on carefree feet. His smile was full of joy and fun. "Lady," said he, "may I have one?" When she pinned it on, he turned to say, "Why do we wear a poppy today?" The lady smiled in her wistful way and answered, "This is Remembrance Day. And the poppy there is a symbol for the gallant men who died in war. And because they did, you and I are free. That's why we wear a poppy, you see. I had a boy about your size, with golden hair and big blue eyes. He loved to play and jump and shout. Free as a bird, he would race about. As the years went by, he learned and grew, and became a man, as you will too. He was fine and strong, with a boyish smile, but he'd seemed with us such a little while. When war broke out and he went away, I still remember his face that day. When he smiled at me and said goodbye, I'll be back soon, Mum, please don't cry. But the war went on, and he had to stay, and all I could do was wait and pray. His letters told of the awful fight. I can see it still in my dreams at night, with the tanks and guns and cruel barbed wire, and the mines and bullets, the bombs and fire, till at last, the war was won. And that's why we wear a poppy, son. The small boy turned as if to go, then said, Thanks, lady, I'm glad to know. That sure did sound like an awful fight. But your son, did he come back all right? A tear rolled down each faded cheek. She shook her head, but didn't speak. I slunk away in a sort of shame, and if you were me, you'd have done the same. For our thanks and giving, if oft delayed, though our freedom was bought and thousands paid, and so when you see a poppy worn, let us reflect on the burden borne by those who gave their very all when asked to answer their country's call, that we at home in peace might live. Then wear a poppy, remember, and give.
In Flanders Field by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrea, MD. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset, glow loved, and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff and Dave, for those two great poems. We will now have our memorial service for our fellow veterans who have passed away since last Memorial Day. At this time, a representative of each veterans organization will place a poppy in the steel helmet as the deceased veteran's name is read. They are Ron, Commander, American Legion; Del Yarick, AMVETS; Sean Kennedy, Marine Corps League; and Paul Louth, Veterans of Foreign Wars. As the deceased veterans' names are called out, The representative will answer absent loudly into the mic. Ronald H. Andrews.
Absent.
Brian J. Boudry.
Absent.
Ronald Bennett.
Ab-
Kevin L. Borth.
Absent.
Eldon Braun.
Ab-
Gerald L. Bushke.
Ab-
James Bushy.
Absent.
John Cronin.
Absent.
Terrence Dolge.
Ab-
Theodore Drake.
Absent.
Robert Drake.
Ab-
Francois Dupuis.
Absent.
Franklin E. Edmonds.
Absent.
Donald Faberch.
Absent.
Louis Ferrari.
Absent.
Robert Gernetsky.
Absent.
Greg Haig.
Absent.
Richard Hartel.
Ab-
Robert Hamilton.
Ab-
Richard Hankis.
Absent.
David Hankey.
Absent.
Virgil Hoffman.
Absent.
Charles Ron.
Absent.
Lyle Yankee.
Absent.
Roger D. Yanish.
Absent.
James C. Jolly.
Absent.
Peter Josephkowski.
Absent.
Charles F. Kadrich.
Absent.
Richard Kaiser.
Absent.
Merlin Kinost.
Absent.
Paul Klug.
Absent.
Reuben Kuck.
Absent.
Lyle Kurtz.
Absent.
John A. Kirkendall.
Absent.
Clarence Lundeen.
Absent.
Clayton Lynch.
Absent.
James Mack.
Absent.
Norbert Malik.
Absent.
William R. Margolowski.
Absent.
Donovan McQueen.
Absent.
Robin Memmel.
Absent.
Raven Moldenhauer.
Absent.
Leonard Newman.
Absent.
Lawrence R. Nickerson.
Absent.
William Olstein.
Absent.
Fred Panoski.
Absent.
Paul W. Pfeffer.
Absent.
Thomas Powles.
Absent.
Bert H. Prest.
Absent.
Harvey Recheck.
Absent.
Dennis Reibel.
Absent.
Gerald J. Reinke.
Absent.
Paul Reeson.
Absent.
Daniel Rudiger.
Absent.
Howard Sage.
Absent.
Carl A. Schmidt.
Absent.
Gene Schreiber.
Absent.
Delmar Schultz.
Absent.
James Shepard.
Absent.
Harry Schutte.
Absent.
James Smith.
Absent.
Calvin Soldner.
Absent.
Howard Spalding.
Absent.
Herman Stange.
Absent.
Kenneth Stange.
Absent.
Dennis Stein.
Absent.
Cecil Stewart Jr.
Absent.
Robert Switowski.
Absent.
Ralph Trejo.
Absent.
Francis W. Turner.
Absent.
Lauren E. Vick.
Absent.
Harvey A. Voigt.
Absent.
David R. Voss.
Absent.
Lionel Wagner. Joseph N. Wapneski.
Absent.
Robert Yasker.
Absent.
James Zulsdorf.
Absent.
And Thomas Powers.
Absent.
The wreath ceremony will begin now. Marine Corps Delmar Winning and VFW Paul Lauf will, with guest speaker Major Warwick, will place the wreath in front of the memorial wall in memory and honor of all veterans. All stand. All veterans uncover. We will now have a moment of silence. Veterans cover, please remain standing. The Beaver Dam High School Band will play the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Please remain standing. Thank you, Beaver Dam High School Band, Drum Major Deals, Marine Corps Del Winning, and VFW Paul Louth, and Major Warwick. All military units come to attention. The American Legion Post 146 Honor Guard Squad will now give a rifle salute. Rifle Squad Commander Tom Meyer, bring your unit to attention and prepare your men to fire 3 volleys in honor and memory of our departed comrades. Dueling buglers Olivia Loeffler and Thomas Schultz from the Beaver Dam High School Band will play taps. Veterans and military squads, remain covered, present arms. Order, arms, at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to have Major Pete Warwick, U.S. Army Reserves, as our guest speaker for this year's memorial service. Major Warwick lives in Randolph with his wife and 3 children. He was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and later attended Randolph High School. He attended Ripon College and earned a Bachelor of Arts in History, Marian University, and earned a Master of Arts in Educational Leadership. Presently, he is the District Facilities and Safety Officer with the Beaver Dam Unified School District. Major Warwick enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserve in 1999 and is currently assigned to the 432nd Civilian Affairs Battalion, Green Bay, Wisconsin. His deployments include Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan, and Operation Atlantic Resolve.
Thank you for coming today and observing Memorial Day. Thank you to Del Yark for asking me to speak here today. Special thanks to Beaver Dam Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 1163, American Legion Post 146, AMVETS Post 33, Marine Corps League Detachment 359, and the Planning Committee for all they do, not just today, but throughout the year. Thank you to the Beaver Dam High School Band and the St. Catherine Drexel Band. Thank you to all the veterans with us today and their families. I am grateful for the honor of participating in this important ceremony. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you today. Today is Memorial Day. To some, it is the unofficial beginning of summer. To others, a 3-day weekend away from work. But Memorial Day is so much more than that. We cannot forget the true meaning of this day. Memorial Day is more a commemoration than a celebration. This day we commemorate, which is to honor the memory of, all who have given the ultimate sacrifice to this great nation. Memorial Day is not about division, it is about reconciliation. It is a day of remembrance to honor those who have died in all American wars. It is about coming together to honor those who gave all. While I was deployed to Afghanistan in 2009, I wrote a letter home that was dated 23 May 2009. It reads, "We were sitting at the chow hall last night, and we were talking about basic training stories. The one I am about to tell you left us all speechless. It was a story of a 37-year-old man who graduated basic training with me. He needed a waiver because 35 years old was the age limit to join the Army. By far the oldest guy in our basic training unit. Most of the soldiers were in their late teens or early 20s. His fellow soldiers always gave him a hard time because his age and ability to keep up physically, so he kept to himself most of basic training. One day, about halfway through the 9 weeks of training, the drill sergeants asked all of us the reason why we joined the Army. Answers included for a good paying job, to see the world, college benefits, and multiple other answers. The oldest soldier in the platoon finally spoke, the first time many have ever heard him. He said, "The only way I can be buried in the same place as my father is if I join the military." The drill sergeant asked him, "Why? Where is your father buried?" The soldier said, "Arlington National Cemetery." From that point on, he had the respect of every soldier and drill sergeant in that platoon. His dedication exposed what is selfless service, honor, and duty. His dedication exposed what a true American soldier is. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs records data for all Americans who served in our armed forces since the American Revolution. And since the American Revolution, there have been 1,197,142 service members who have died in all American wars. These are the service members we commemorate on this day. Each year for the past 73 years, American soldiers from the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, otherwise known as the Old Guard, honors America's fallen heroes by placing American flags at grave sites for service members buried at Arlington National Cemetery and the U.S. Soldiers and Airmen's Home National Cemetery. This is done just prior to Memorial Day, and they call the tradition Flags In. Soldiers place more than 260,000 flags, exactly 1 boot length from the headstones. As part of this yearly activity, Old Guard soldiers remain in the cemetery throughout the weekend, ensuring all flags remain standing. Retired General Martin Dempsey served as the 18th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff from 2011 to 2015. I will quote a part of his Memorial Day speech he gave in 2015. "I am often asked by my fellow countrymen and women how to appropriately honor our fallen. They wonder how they can best pay tribute to those laid to rest beneath our flag so that we may stand freely beside it today. I tell them simply to remember." General Dempsey's message is simple and to the point. Remember. We must remember those who have fallen before us, and during this somber day of reflection, honor the memory of those who are absent from our formations. Thank you for your continued remembrance, which ensures their sacrifices will never be forgotten. It is up to us to keep their memories alive. I would like to end with a reading titled, "It is the Veteran." It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, who serves under the flag, whose coffin is draped by the flag. Eternal rest grant them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them. In closing, I am proud to serve my country. I wish you all the best. God bless the members of the armed forces and their families, and may God continue to bless our great nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Warwick. It's been a pleasure to have you with us today. At this time, I would like to acknowledge our area veterans who have given their ultimate sacrifice so we can celebrate our country's freedom every day. As you can see by the names on these honor walls in this memorial park, we pay homage to some of our own area veterans. Please give these American heroes a well-deserved round of applause. Also, I would like to acknowledge all of our area World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans who have been honor flight recipients over the years. Would you please stand? If you guys don't mind, please remain standing. We have many other World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans in the attendance who haven't been able to participate in the Honor Flight program as of yet. And we also have veterans present from Iraq and Afghanistan wars here today. At this time, I would ask all veterans to please rise to be acknowledged and recognized. For our final song today, the Beaver Dam High School Band will play God Bless America under the direction of Drum Major Elena Smith. Please join along in singing, and all stand. Thank you, Beaver Dam High School Band and Drum Major Smith. You may all be seated. Marine Corps League member Dave Noe will read a poem.
Unknown USMC. Author, unknown. The chaplain wore no helmet. His head was bowed in prayer. His face was seamed with sorrow. But a trace of hope was there. Our ranks were hushed and silent and diminished by our loss at our feet. The rows of crosses told how much the battle cost. Rows of neat white crosses and stars of David too marked the graves, sites of our brothers, whose fighting days were through. Friends of mine were lying there. Ski and Ace and Slim, Bo and Jack, Bill and Joe, Dusty, Tex, and Jim. Each had a simple marker, but the closest one to me was plain white wooden headboard marked Unknown USMC. It is this final camp of comrades. It was somehow strange and odd that a man should lie among them, known only to his God. Who can he be? I wondered. Was he white or black or red? This man who shares a resting place with our loved and honored dead. He cannot be a stranger, but a friend whose lonely track has brought him here among us. I think I'll call him Mac. Mac is a name we've often used, and it's been used on me. It's better than the epithet unknown USMC. So many times I've heard it in the blackness of the night, through the swirling mist of combat, with the battle at its height. Hey Mac, a voice would call. We could use some help out here. I've got a man that's wounded. Can you help him to the rear? Hey Mac, I'm really burning up in the sun's so blazing hot. Can you spare a drop of water? Gee, thanks, Mac. Thanks a lot. The day when I was wounded, hurt and lying in the snow, a cigarette was offered me by a man I didn't know. He quickly stopped the bleeding and rolled me on my back, grinned and gripped his rifle and said, "Take it easy, Mac." A simple word, a simple name, but still it proves to me that no man ever really is unknown USMC. The chaplain's prayer is finished. Our colors gently dip. The rifle squad is ready. The bugler wets his lip. With blurry eyes and saddened heart, I heard the rifles crack. Taps floated softly in the air. And I said goodbye to Mac. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for that poem. Jeff Krakow will give us a brief history of how Memorial Day was established.
Memorial Day is an American holiday. It was originally called Decoration Day as a day of remembrance for those who have died in the service of the United States of America. Memorial Day was born out of the Civil War and a desire to honor our dead. It was officially proclaimed on May 5th, 1868 by General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic. It is designated for the purpose of decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. The first state to officially recognize the holiday was New York in 1873. By 1890, it was recognized by all of the northern states. The South refused to acknowledge the day, honoring their dead on separate days until after World War I, when the holiday changed from honoring just those who died fighting in the Civil War to honoring all Americans who died fighting in any war. 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which established Memorial Day as the last Monday in May in order to create a 3-day weekend for federal employees. The change went into effect in 1971. The same law also declared Memorial Day as a federal holiday. Still, many Americans visit cemeteries and memorials to observe Memorial Day by decorating the graves of fallen comrades with flowers. It is traditional to fly the flag of the United States at half-staff from dawn until noon. Many volunteers and our very own local veterans organizations place an American flag on each veteran's grave in local cemeteries.
Thank you, Jeff. I wish to thank the Memorial Day Committee for today's ceremony. They are Gert Herman, Dave Kleindl, Tom Meyer, Bob Cook, Paul Louth, Ron, Sean Kennedy, Lois Levenhagen, Dave Noe, Ross O'Brien, Chuck and Linda Stab, Del Winning, Gail Teat, Janelle Yarrick, Del Yarrick, Jeff Krakow, Don Zillish, and myself, Ty Leto. Sorry if we've missed anyone. We also want to voice our thanks to the Board of Directors and their staff and grounds crew of the Oakwood Cemetery for their special care of the Veterans Memorial Park and facilities. Thank you to Fleet Farm for the lovely flowers, and a special thank you to the hardworking volunteers, including John Deere Performance and Reliability Engineering Group, who helped beautify these grounds. Thanks to the Daily Citizen for informing our community of this important event and ceremony. And thank you to the area funeral homes who provided their services to the veterans' families and us with the names of the deceased veterans for today's program. And a big thank you to Dale Wall and the crew for the flyover who made our Memorial Day ceremony extra special. Also, thank you to all veterans, veteran organizations, and auxiliary members who were a part of this ceremony. A special thank you to our guest speaker, Major Peter Warwick, and Chris Olson, Beaver Dam Council President. Thanks for the many helping hands of Scout Troop 6838 and leader Becky Kiekert for distributing flags for the Beaver Dam Exchange Club and helping out with parking and seating of those in attendance. The Knights of Columbus Honor Guard, Captain Chad Enright, the Beaver Dam Fire Department who provided their EMS services, the City of Beaver Dam who provided the park benches, and the Dodge County Sheriff's Department who helped with traffic control here at the ceremony. Thank you, Beaver Dam High School Band Directors Russell Diggins and Kyle Hendrickson, Drum Majors Elena Smith, Olivia Loeffler, Morgan Deals, and Beaver Dam High School Band, the singers Alyssa Braun, Rand Gann, Kelsey Sneeder, and Brendan Simon, and the dueling buglers Olivia Loeffler and Thomas Schultz. Also, thank you to Kim Lopez, the St. Catherine Drexel's Marching Band, and the drum majors Brianna Gansky and Brianna Meyer. These bands provided us with patriotic music to complete our ceremony for our fallen veterans. A special thank you to WBEV for broadcasting to the community this program and who made this live broadcast possible so everyone could attend personally at home to honor our veterans. We'll now have Chaplain Martin Louth lead us in a benediction to close the memorial ceremony today. Everyone please stand and veterans uncover.
Almighty Father, the Lord of the world and Lord of our beloved land, we praise your power. We acknowledge you as absolute ruler over us. We thank you for your blessing of peace and abundance. We ask you to pardon us for having forgotten you. Give us strength to dispel the evils that surround us. Direct our minds and hearts to justice, love, and peace. Grant in your goodness, O merciful Father, that all of us may one day come into your presence. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Veterans cover. Everyone please be seated. And thank you, Chaplain Louth. Thanks to everyone who came out today and who listened to today's ceremony. And please thank WBEV again, who made this ceremony extra special today, and have a safe and healthy day. Commanders of all color guards and directors of the school bands, take charge of your units. And please, everyone, pick up after yourselves before leaving. This concludes the Memorial Day services. Have a great day, everyone.